Hello and welcome. Good morning. It is the first day of April 2017. My name is Derek, and let's do a cryptocurrency update showing the daily and weekly Bitcoin charts, as well as some data for the cryptocurrencies Bella, PivX, and GNT. So let's get started in here. And I haven't been deleting, and I've kept these afloat, these text marks in the upper part, because the trend has stayed the same. Although it's attempting to change within the 18 average band, it has flattened out and is now in the stage of the attempt to break it, as well as the stage of reaching previous high in at 1118. It's also amongst this significant Fibonacci level from the lows of 750 and the highs in at 1350. It's also at the same Fibonacci point from here, as the number would be just a little bit lower, but the same situation, trying to regain bullishness within the market. I've said this a lot. I'll say this again. One of my favorite indicators to determining momentum changes in a situation like this, once you get to the stage of flattening the band out, is to continue further a rally noticeably above the 18 average of highs, but not too high. The 18 average of highs would then start to slowly rise higher. You're looking for a pullback anywhere from the 18 average of highs down to the 18 average of lows, and then momentum to come back further to break resistance. In a stage like that, that is what I'm looking for to change the market momentum. Now, that doesn't always work, because situations like, not always. If you're looking for to come back to the 18 average band here, it didn't happen until here, and it was a losing play. But throwing that part aside, I really don't see too many examples in here. Let's see. Well, even here, you come out above the band, back to it, you break resistance. So something like that. Okay, let's move this on now to the weekly chart. And it's a very interesting picture. I'm not going to talk about these momentum parts in here. I will for a later time. I've already done such. I really only want to talk about what's going on now. And when I look at the last four periods, it paints an interesting picture, as this one had a very interesting bearish picture. For the first red candle, it has a large move to the 18 average band back to its current area. That's normal trading. But then proceeds further back to its previous low. Okay, that's showing weakness. And then it follows by making a high at the 18 average of highs, breaking down by the support area. Overall, it's barely went down this line. So when I look at the size of moves, I look at the size of this versus the size of this. So the breakdown was barely the move that preceded it, and it has since rallied. So I've written in here, previous week had bearish setup. Expect such to be true, or one heck of a failed fast move. Because just because it hasn't went down yet doesn't mean it still won't. For it could very easily do this, and the pattern is showing that bearish setup you would expect. Lower highs, lower lows, but mainly a significant leg lower. But with that being stated, and I figured this out in 2008, mainly 2009 from firsthand experience, that whenever a great bullish or bearish setup presents itself and it doesn't transpire, the fast moves to the opposite direction come into play. Because I can still remember trading a double ETF oil fund that was looking extremely amazing, going to the upside, yet it breaks it, and then boom, it crashes, as it had an amazing breakout that was supposed to go up, but it didn't. And that's why I'm using that reference here, because, or any situation where it's supposed to go up or down and it doesn't, because you would get a decent up move, in my opinion, if this is to occur. But overall, with what the market states, with the 18 average of band, we've been making these higher highs and correctionary moves within the band. So it's playing out as such. Thus, resumption away from this band to the upside is resumption of the bull market with confidence, because a lift from this band and anything above this means that there's bullish setups in play and you're looking to find key area tops. And when you first lift away from the band, that's where you would expect to have a decent pop. Usually the first key area would be the high in here, 1295 or 13 to 1350. And then after that, you'd be looking for what would be the next significant higher high. So you got, just using simple math, 500, 750, so that's 50%. Then it goes up to 1,000, which is 33%. Then it goes up to 1,300, another 33% gain. So you'll maybe look at about 30% on top of that. So 130, 260, 390, 400, so 1,700 or so, just by using that kind of quick math that I can use in my head. Now let's talk about some cryptocurrencies. But before we do, this is what I was using, keyword was, and looking at how I am outperforming Bitcoin within the Poloniex website. And I guess I waited for my first lower low. There's a few, but it's not the reason why. What I have done is liquidate over exactly 33% of this out, because I've had enough of this website. This was yesterday around lunchtime on the site. Is it down right now? You can check websites to see their status, and it was down, responding for nobody. It was down for around 7 minutes, and I had seen this image the night before. I had noticed problems. So I got frustrated with them and decided if they don't want to make their bandwidth actually work, it's going to make it difficult. So on Poloniex, I'm only there, and I'm only trading there because they have Bella and GNT. So I took everything out but what I have on Bella and GNT, and enough for the buy orders that were required, not a Bitcoin or penny or whatever number, not a single digit more. So that's all I'm doing there. I love their rake, their fees, but I do not like their site presentation. It makes it slower to load items like charts and market data numbers. The continued extreme lag is the reason I transferred out over half my balance on Friday. In the fool me once, twice reason, because last week or so they go to 21,000 users and they cannot handle it. So a week or so later, they have almost the same as before. They can't handle it again. And I even see on their notice section, oh, we want moderators for a position. Okay, well, that's great. But how about technicians that can actually work within your IT information, IT systems? So I'm not happy about them. And if I could trade Bella or GNT on another platform, I would. Hit BTC. Interesting site. This is a site that I was using for my Bitcoin index. I'm getting to know the site a lot more after yesterday. It's got a good trading platform, making it fun to place orders with even cheaper rake and fees than Poloniex offers. They are only a few tokens to choose from. You can only bet like 12, like maybe 20 different things, so you don't have as many alternate currencies to choose. They do have the following message, which is really interesting. It's actually stopped me from really depositing anything, although I did a little bit. It says, please note that BTC withdrawals are temporarily disabled. We have listed the Bitcoin Unlimited market, and your account will be credited accordingly. Other currencies will continue to operate normally. So you cannot withdraw BTC to any wallet, but I suppose you could withdraw via Ethereum. However, what was very interesting is they credited me with about 25 to 30% higher of that BTU. I can't understand it, but I was able to trade it immediately. And what I don't like about them is they have the very high deposit withdrawal fees. You have to pay 1% of what you deposit to them right off the bat. That's extremely high. and even higher at 2% to withdrawal. However, if you're making large numbers, they do cap it, and you're going to save it over time by having the 0.1% fees. All I'm doing on here is I'm just having fun, like a video game, because it's got a video game kind of look to it, of buying low, selling high, not really accumulating anything for long term. Not if I need to get into Dash or Ethereum or anything, it's a good place to do it, I suppose. Or if I need to short Bitcoin, which I really don't want to, I suppose I could do it here. But yeah, so that would be one place. Bittrex, and I'm only trading PivX there right now. I love everything about their site, but having to pay 0.25%, which translates to 0.5% on the buy and sell, which is compared to 0.1% on the HIT BTC and a 0.15% on the Poloniex website. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not too sure there's any other exchanges if I'll go into any others, but this is the chart that I was using for the crypto indice with the HIT BTC. And I think that one of these moves that occurred to the downside was them giving me free BTU, because I was even noticing, I'm like, how do I have BTU credits on my account? And I couldn't figure it out. So it's not, the data isn't as accurate enough, and it's just not worth doing such anymore. And yeah, let's continue on further now. Let's talk about the codes GNT, Bella, and PivX. And at 9:51 in the morning at April 1st, and nothing has changed for any of these, I am betting for it to go down, as I have liquidated out of 70% of my position with a heavy buyback order, with many insane sell orders. Same mistake twice, meaning if somebody just doubles or triples it at one time, I want part of it. The current key range is around 7,300 and 9,500 from the last mega buy order, or since then, which gives a Fibonacci down target in at 6,203, and that is where I'm looking to aggressively buy. Up target is in at 1118. I'm definitely not as aggressive in selling there because I don't have much positions left, so I basically only have a handful of shares, or tokens, not many. I have a little bit of sell in this area. I got a little bit of day trading stuff that I'm buying back and forth, because since this I actually sold at $79.99 and I bought back again around the same price. I've done that in that time frame, nothing else. So I got day trading funds available. I got the insane sells, and I got not much, but a little bit in this area, because again, I've liquidated out of much of it. Bella, I have not liquidated out of. I want to soon. That's because I want the price to go higher. I still think that it will, but it's been around a 5-day range bound market with a current low area below 7,300 and a high area of between 77.75 to 8,000, with the much larger range between 6,800 and 9,000. The Fibonacci area brings the key midpoints in at 75.69, which is where it's trading in at now, with 80.86 also being one. They've been testing back and forth these numbers quite frequently. And the up and down targets in at 10.7 and 57.18. So what I am most concerned about, because everything in between is just day trading for me, trying to buy at 70. I got buy orders at 73, 71, looking to sell at 77, 79. All that kind of stuff will keep going. But this gives me the immediacy break data for here, as the 14 to 16K range I am still playing towards. So therefore, that means buy orders in this area, heavy, and some heavy sell orders at around the 11K number. And I put an 11,000 sell order in a month ago, so that's perfect number. A pierce above, that just pierce above works perfect. And normally you want to go like maybe 10, 9 something, because there's going to be a whole bunch at 11,000. Well, I'm early in at that number, so it's first come, first serve. And I'm going to be one of the earlier people to get in at that number because it's been in for a month. PivX in at 84.79. And this thing looks ready to pop as I want to bet more with it because I got all these extra BTCs from my withdrawal yesterday. I've been tempted to do such, but I got a good amount as it is already, so I'm not going to change it. Near term, I like the even 10,000-ish number, and I got 99.94 because just like this example before, if there's going to be a lot of people with the sell orders at 10,000, then I'm just going to take a micro number below it. And I got the 4 because then other people can go, oh, I see this. I'm going to go 99.99. Oh, I'm going to go 99.98. So you go a little lower than that because of those other people. And you're relatively safe going at these numbers too. But I think with a 97.14 immediate up target, and they usually pierce them, that works. And it's the key even numbers work out well. This is where I'm going to be going for like a small decent sell. I'm going to be more heavier selling at around 10,000 as I would be at 9,200, or as I would be at 94, or as I would be at 10.6 or 11.5 type thing, because I'm expecting there might be a decent chance it might pull back from there, and I'm going to want to buy back at cheaper prices. And within a down target of 67.95, that means buying heavy around 6,800. And overall, what I have done is I have left shares back so that I can buy back smaller, 5,000. At other places, like the 13,000, all my day trading stuff, decent amount of sells in the 16,000 area. And then you got insane orders like 30,000, 60,000, 80,000. I mean, why the heck not? Just in case. I mean, it's not likely, but it's not like it cost you anything to do it. I got a 4K buy order left. I don't think it's going to hit, but in case it does. And then I got tokens back without an order, because what happens if this goes up like 15 times and I've already sold out? I don't want that. I mean, it's unlikely again to do so, but I also want to accumulate shares for future situations that could look very promising. And anyway, I'm not done yet, actually. Talking about PivX, this is the PivX chart, which represents the orange line, the actual price movement over the last few days. But the blue line represents where my balance, which only trades PivX, happens to be. And the situation is expanding away from the orange line because what's happening is I'm buying low and selling high. So when the market goes from here to here and I sell here and buy back in here, my portfolio is going to be worth more at this exact same number in here. And the risk for this strategy is if this goes straight up, then buying and holding will become a smart or a better positive return play, because you're going to have all your shares in your position and I'm going to have made some profits here and there with a bunch of buy orders not getting filled. So it always has its flaws, but it's working so far, and I'm using this as what I consider to be, I think, a very good investment for PivX, but also just to have some fun to be able to check to see how this data moves, as price action has a lot more buys and sells for me. So thank you for tuning in to today's video, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.